All right, hello, hello, hello. Sorry, a little bit of delay there. Um, bah, I got the little one for about a half hour. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Normally, her meeting's kicking a little bit later, but Melissa has a meeting early. So, yeah, I have the Boster just for a little bit, not too long. So we'll see. But of course, I'm like, oh God, we're counting down to zero. And of course, then he gets into something. And yeah, we're at the stage where, we climb up something and then realize we can't do anything with it and then fall over and cry. So yeah, it's fun. Fun, fun, fun. Anyway, yeah, buddy, I'm talking about you. Yeah, I'm talking about you. um, he, yeah. What? What are you doing? What? What? Buddy, buddy, what are you doing? Hold on. What are you doing? All right. Yes. Okay. Come here. You want to see what we're doing? Oh, all right. So we will see if he will work at chill with us today. Anyway, I wanted to screenshot it. This was up to 4.99. It's not. I'll say it's rare, but it's not like I don't know. I say it's uncommon, but it's not rare. Like I've seen it happen before in the past, but it was actually up 500 pips in the last 24 hours. So everything that the BOE did 2 days ago is finally it's finally helping. They brought it in. The initial reaction of the market was like, well, this is kind of weak. But remember, they were trying to get more aggressive in what they were doing. And that aggression finally kicked in. The market finally saw it. And, you're looking at obviously two biggest movers really the three biggest movers, right? Pound yen, 471. And again, it was 500. 322 on the pound dollar. Euro pound, 126. That's bigger than the euro dollar over here. The euro dollar is actually 152. But percentage-wise, as far as what they typically move, this is a much bigger percentage move. Minus 125 is a monstrous move, and we talked about it coming back to the downside. And it's obviously not because of European weakness. I mean, the euro is up over here. Euro yen is kind of flat on things. Data today, unemployment claims actually came in pretty good, right? They expected to go a little bit higher, and they were a little bit off, right? We are confirmed that our GDP actually, obviously dropped, right? That's, not really what you kind of want to see, but that's what we're seeing. And then CAD actually has a surprise, and their GDP came in good. So we're seeing, obviously, the dollar CAD to the downside. In the last 15 minutes, we have gotten this report right here that Putin is now annexing the Ukraine. Or not the entire thing, just the regions that they originally said they were going in for before. It's called the return of the mother of this. I love the comments. The comments are literally my favorite part of Forex Factory. So anyway, yeah, we'll see what the I'm sure there will be statements made. There'll be some stuff that gets mentioned with that. That there will definitely be a response back from us that nope, you're not doing it, you're doing it, you're not doing it. I don't know. We didn't stop them before, and I don't think it's going to change the trajectory too much. So, particularly in the what is the Donetsk region, I guess is how you say it. That was a region that was basically not even held by Ukraine when the whole thing started. I guess it was a separatist, or I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know. When it's it's kind of like a civil war thing. But anyway, the Ukraine didn't hold it anyway for the very beginning. So I don't know. We'll see. You would think that we see something like this and we see a lot of dollar strength come in because of that one, but we're seeing the opposite. We're actually seeing dollar weakness come in across the board. So, yeah, and it could be because we're going to send even more billions across to help fight this. I think the market's appetite for it is kind of over. Anyway, look at things like the dollar yen. 3, like, you know what? 3 is not that big. Like, it's whatever, right? 3 is not a gigantic number. Now it's 5. We're cruising now, but minus 68, minus 32. Again, really not much in CAD, and again, it should drop a little bit more on that one. But the euro, the pound has really just been the monster here. Now, we do have some comments that I think are important. Messer talking right here, talking about, we're basically back on, back to trend on the labor force participation given demographics. Not expecting a big bump up in labor force participation. We're not at the point where we should think about stopping the rate hikes. So everything we've heard is just, yep, we need to continue, need to continue, need to continue. So, we're still not even in a restrictive policy on funds rate. You know, I think this is telling. I mean, we've now heard Bostic talk about 0.75 is in as the baseline. Not that we're going to go any higher. Let's be real, right? But as the baseline, the 0.75, saying that 0.5 is on the table. Mester is now, getting on board with that. And, again, we already know Bullard's definitely on board with that. What are you doing? Hear about this? Hear about this? So, I mean, looks like we're still, on path to continue to keep raising. So, I really would like to see where kind of with the, I don't know. I mean, I guess the big vote is, or the big poll right now is, where are we going to end the year? And I think that's a very valid, I think that's a very valid question. And what does that mean for everybody else? But again, all the Fed presidents seem like they're talking about it. Everybody's on board. It doesn't seem like it's slowing things down. And in fact, it doesn't seem like it's hurting unemployment claims as well as hiring. So the recession is not here, which is kind of opening the door for more. It just, how much is the market going to factor in, I guess, is the really, really big question. So we do have, Bullard is speaking, I guess, right now, right? On a virtual forum about emerging markets. Probably won't tell too much about the U.S. Haven't gotten anything yet. I think the big sermon is the big one. Tomorrow morning, we do have some very important data, though. And it will be on before we talk. This core PCE price index, I think, is extremely important. All week we've been mentioning how, listen, that's 0.5 is a big deal. We've done 2 raises. Last time I was like, yep, definitely 0.75. And now we're seeing on a monthly basis the core PCE, which is, again, the preferred kind of gauge of inflation, is increasing by 0.5%. Yeah. It's definitely a 0.75. I don't think there's any chance that it's going to 1. But what does it look like for next time? That's kind of what I'm curious if it's a 0.75, 0.75. But this is a big one. There'll definitely be some movement. Look to see what the Europeans do with it in the European session, with the dollar in particular. And again, we may be seeing all this dollar weakness today in preparation for a huge burst tomorrow. Man, what if this comes in at like 0.7? Could you imagine? 0.7? Yeah, that would be woo! Wouldn't be a good day for the overall stock market if we come in with like a 0.7. But I will say it is probably kind of more set up as a failure at this point, because if anything, it's coming in. Its forecast is a 0.5. It was a 0.1 last time. The chances are, because it's in that positive direction, if we come in at it's a 0.3 or 0.4, what could happen with that? That's where I think the news trade is tomorrow. And then Bernard speaking at 9. Opening remarks for an online event at the Federal Reserve Bank. I mean, we'll see. We haven't really heard much out of her. And then consumer sentiment. I'm expecting to actually be a little bit better than that. Again, everything we've seen so far, sentiment-wise, has been better than expected. So, I think we could, have something better in that one. And again, this is 0.3, right? This is like a 0.3, 0.4. This comes in at 60. I think that's a positive day for the market. We could have at least an end-of-day rally, if not green on the day. So, all right, so that's what we got in the next 2 days. So let's go across and start looking at some of these charts. VIX. Now, the VIX. Problem with the VIX right now is, I'm a little bit delayed. I think I have like a 10 or 15 minute delay on there. Putin saying that, hey, we're going to annex these 4 territories. They're going to be ours, right? Originally, they said that was kind of, that was the thing, that we were going to do the same thing we did in Crimea, and they're kind of doing it again. It's kind of the playbook that we've seen, so not really like surprising or anything. I would expect this pops a little bit as people are waiting to hear kind of what's coming from it. Everything is pretty much deeply in the red right now. And again, you can see VIX is up 5%. I mean, it's a nice gap, and it kind of held in the overnight. We've had some really good trends in the overnight, whether it be up and back or just in one direction. This one really pretty much held. So, yeah. I'd love to say we're at an area of selling, but I feel like right now with the data, the market's already factoring in, oh God, they're raising 0.75, and it could be even 0.75 beyond that. So kind of hard. Commodities all in the red as well, and it's not really because of the dollar. I mean, the dollar is kind of getting smashed around. We had an area we gapped up and came right back up, and we talked about 113 being a level to watch out for. It did. It came back up to the 113 and then continued to drop back down the downside. So, Let's see. It's in an area where we do have buyers for the dollar. It is rolling into the U.S. session, but I don't know if the data right now suggests that we're going to go long today. It may continue to be more of a weak dollar day. Let's check out some of these trades now. We missed a couple of these things. Yesterday, we talked about a great possibility here with a supply zone, confirmed level, and a 23. This base right here, you hate that, right? You hate that because you're looking at that, you're like, oh, God, they're trying to find some buyers to help propel them through. And, yeah, they found some buyers to help propel them through. They did. They ended up going higher. They ended up going through that level. And again, you can see it didn't even slow down at the 23. It based below, sliced right through, went to the top of the area, and finally slowed down. And this is the problem where you have this big, like, kind of step going to the downside is you have a level here, and a level here, a level here, a level here, a level here, a level here. And it's always hard to find a best one. That's why something like a 23 is helpful because it can kind of add a little bit more oomph to that. It ended up needing to go higher, and then all of a sudden, bam, it got the failure to go higher here. And you got your red, your green, and your red. And it literally triggered right at the top. So, what, buddy? It ended up going short. Had we moved this up and... What? Why are you being loud today? Had we marked this off here, you can see that the trade would have worked out. I was at the boys' practice last night. I'm talking. Yeah, I see. I didn't catch this trade, so I don't want to make, any false images like, yep, I caught it. I just adjusted. I didn't. I wasn't around for the boys on this one. I saw the trigger go off, and then again, when this one finally triggered last night, it was about 6:30 at night, and I was already at the boys' practice, so I wasn't able to get into this one. But it's definitely one if you were sitting there watching, you could have tracked it. And again, your red, green, red confirmation came down and based above, put a failure to go higher in, and you can say, well, is that a zone? Yeah, it is. I mean, there's the zone right there, right? I mean, really, you could say that there's the zone. All the basing, a touch again, and then a front run. So, I mean, you could have used that as your level. So that's just, again, very, very hard part when you have a level. We were really hoping that the 23 exists would help. Unfortunately, those 23ers didn't step in. They weren't powerful enough. They weren't big enough. Yeah, that's what I think too. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes. What? What? Um, you're very loud today. So again, it did push. Now he's kicking the keyboard. It did push much farther down. So again, it did what we were expecting it to do yesterday. The entry on it, though, we were a little bit too high. It needed to be just a bit more than that. It happens. Again, if you're watching it, 6, you're good to go. If you set and forget this one, you probably got stopped out. And again, it's going to happen. It is what it is. So it pulled right down. Now, again, we are kind of in a downward channel. We have pulled back up into an area of sellers. So I would say at this point, I would be a little bit more bearish in this position, thinking that, hey, listen, this is probably a decent sell level. Question is, are we able to kind of maintain and not reverse at 1030? Or will the reverse kind of help us push it back to the downside, right? So I'd say bearish. Do I want to jump into a trade right now? You may, if you really need something. I would say, again, if you're going to play like an options position this one, or you're looking for more of a swing trade from now till tomorrow, with everything we have data-wise in the next 24 hours, I do think that this comes back down and tests lower levels. I will not be surprised if we are all sitting down over here tomorrow morning at the 63.80-ish mark, especially with the news. Again, that 0.5 is a big reason why. It's a big reason why this is probably happening now. So, we've gotten the weakness in. Nothing's happened really in Australia. It should roll all the way back down again. And that's a decent runner if you're able to get a good entry on it. You're talking about 100 pips back to the downside. So, here, you want to get down? Here. There you go. All right. Aussie yen. So, there we go. Aussie yen. Yeah, we were calling for 94.14. You can see that, oh, God, did it get stuck. Okay, it rallied, it hit 12 o'clock, and all of a sudden it stopped, and there was your base. And you know what? It pulled away, and it's like, oh, man, it came back down, grabbed that zone that we talked about. We weren't using it for anything. It was a yellow. And it came back up, and then it grabbed it just a little while ago to push back down again. So it's very similar. I would say that this is pretty much all yen. I wouldn't say that any of this is really the Australian dollar at all. I would say it's in a similar position. Again, we've run into sellers there. If it is able to go higher, we had mentioned this level, kind of boxing off the 50% retracement level because that was the bottom yesterday. That's 94.14. So there's a level there. You may already be short. And again, Aussie dollar, if it rolls, this one should also kind of help roll back down again. Again, the dollar and the yen are obviously different, but they should move kind of in lockstep. What are you doing? Buddy, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, you're gonna fall out of that chair. Sorry. He's in a baby chair right now. I don't know how he climbed doing it, but he's climbing and everything. Anyway, I'd say kind of the same sentiment. Again, the Aussie dollar will kind of everybody dollar strength, Aussie weakness. It's not necessarily an Aussie weakness, but you should see it roll back to the downside. I kind of like this one to reset. If you again, we're only at the 50, so we cannot delete fibs. But if you're looking at the most recent run up, you can see that the 50 is a level right here. I mean, if I mark kind of here, right? There's where the buyer stepped in. Bringing across, you're sitting right there around the 50. So I would assume that this comes back down. And again, and the question is, what does it do around that level? It didn't hit the fib. It got really, really close. It would not have triggered if you had put on a 50% retracement on there. And it wasn't really a zone for us. It really kind of was more the violated zone here. So, right now we can kind of start cleaning it up. And again, this is an old zone that the price keeps bouncing off of. But I would say right now, this is the level to look for. Kind of look for some bouncing probably off there. Look for it to come back down today. Euro dollar. So, euro dollar. So we mentioned that we had a couple of different areas. Again, the same stepping back again. And again, the 23 didn't provide any assistance. We had the yellow, and we talked about the 97.05 was a little bit better of a zone. This one, you can see it didn't even pause. It just continued to slice through it yesterday and didn't even slow down until we got back up to that level. It did, and again, I'll delete it just so it's easier to see. Right, you can see it did break out of the top. It ended up going about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. And again, we did kind of have the step in here. I don't think the top level got triggered. No, it didn't. But it did turn and it rolled back down again. Again, this is one of those ones that you're hoping that the 23, the technical traders in there, all the testing over here would have helped out. It didn't. It barely even slowed them. And again, typically the 23 is a great level for that because it's an easy trend continuation level for people. It didn't even slow it down, but it had the same turn. It looked exactly like the Aussie dollar did. And again, the speeches yesterday may be of what, they may have been what the cause was of all this. And again, those speeches right after the open kind of suck, but there's not much you can do about it. But it did retrace back down again, and it looks very similar. Again, if you run fibs on there, you can see this one actually did tag the 50. And again, a little bit of a hiccup, and it's the old level. It was actually the old level that we had talked about right there. Right, that level right there. You can see that's what we came down and started to base it on the other side. This one would have triggered on a 50, but just barely, and then push back up again. So right now, let's delete this off. Again, you can see that it came down. We don't need it anymore. Right now, the next level for potential reversals are here, right there. And you can see this has been a pretty big zone. So, I'll move this over here. All right, so with that said, we are at a level, and this is where I could see a potential reversal coming in. Okay, the data's all been great. We've had a lot of weakness in the overnight. Again, the Russian thing, the annexing. We'll see how that turns out. That's probably the only linchpin that's going to make this a little bit difficult. But I do say I do like kind of reversals here. Now, there are two here. Right, I think either of these are decent. The fact that we're in close proximity to 1030, I kind of like this one here as well. Let's see. This is what I was looking for. Understood. Let's see. Markets understood message from Fed's latest plot. Fed expects more tightening. We have quite a bit. Hope that Swift Fed action will. I love Swift. We've done it like 5 times. Yeah, okay. So if he's saying that number of jobless claims was extremely low, yeah, it's a problem. With so many job openings, I can't see the unemployment rate rising that much. Rising jobs rate to 4.4 unemployment would be just a return to the natural mean. Okay, so yeah. We need some time to affect the balance sheet. Run off. Okay. So, again, Bullard, we knew he was going to be more of the hawkish tone, and he got it. He gave us what we were looking for. Yeah, I'd say, there's probably a reversal in here. Again, if you're not, not sure about it, wait for it to come up in base in there. Again, you could always wait for the true top to be put in, and then kind of a failure to test that top, and use the red, green, red. Use the color change up there in this range. And again, it is between two big levels, so it's purely a base that we're trading it off of. And again, the risk of that is that it moves all the way down to a profit target before you can get in. But I think there's probably a decent short here and a roll back down. Again, a lot of dollar weakness, and everything we've heard today has been what. What? Or does it light up? Dollar strength, dollar strength, dollar strength. These are all, again, dollar strength base releases, and all we're seeing is straight up. So, our dollar weakness. It's everything we're seeing, I'm sorry, is dollar strength, but all the movement we've seen is dollar weakness. So, I think we're due for a flip here. Euro pound, obviously. We know that the euro pound is down a lot. And again, you can see right now, 7 o'clock in the morning, annexation comes in, right? And we're just seeing a continue push. Now, we are back to a very interesting level. We have hit this level before. We talked about it. We mentioned it. Yeah, I heard you. We do have a little Harry Potter trade here, and I think if we can break through that 8804 number, I think the 8750, particularly today with everything going on, is probably a decent level to go to. Hold on. Question is, where does it stop? I'm gonna put this down here. I'm gonna turn that orange for like a warning level. 1, 2. Yeah, I was looking to see if there was anything else in here, but I would say no. So right now, let's see. Take this and put this here. I'd say these are our setups. I'd say 98.48 or 98.50 if you just want to go to 90.50. 90.50 works just fine. I would say 90.50. I'd say 90.50 probably is a decent sell. 88.05 or 88.04, decent breakthrough if we can go down, taking advantage of the racetrack. 1 to 3 target is at 87.54, but I would say overall we need to make sure that we catch profit before 87.28 to the downside. Either of those are okay. And again, I think remaining bearish this one, and we mentioned it, yesterday. I think this continues to roll back down. So, unfortunately, a lot of movement is there. What is that now? 137. So, yeah, not bad. Euro yen, you can see some more weakness coming in. Now, you see we took a small bounce off of this. We had a level just a little bit higher, and it just missed it by a bit. And we were looking for a push back down. The trade has kind of already happened. We kind of got front run on the zone a little bit. You can see 140 provided a level that didn't really necessarily slow it down, but it did provide the base and kind of the drop. And that's where we're sitting at right now. Unfortunately, yesterday's data was a bit too strong. And again, it's an okay level. We had it in the red, and we were playing on the psychological aspect of this one. It spent 10 hours here, so wasn't quite the shock that we like. And it looks like we missed just a little bit up top. So I like to see what it does when it comes up top. Again, you can see this. Look at all the basing right below, and we came back and kind of grabbed that basing and used it as a takeoff point. You can see that it blew through the 50 with no problems. And again, the 61.8 is just a little bit higher. I think if we get up, I'd like to see kind of a confirmation of a roll here. Again, using a red, green, red, or some type of a true top. This, really, it's 10 o'clock now, potentially, right? Potentially. This could be, I guess it is higher than the red, so we're not quite there yet. Oops. What did I do? I hit a button. I'd say that the euro yen is probably set up for a reversal. Right now, unfortunately, though, it's all coming from the yen. But yeah, I look for a reversal on this one as well. I'd say 101.05 probably, but I want to see a confirmation on this one. I don't want to take it just on number one. Pound. Okay, so pound continue to move. You can see the 109, we mentioned it yesterday. The 109 actually worked out just fine. We mentioned that being, again, psychological level, came up at 1 o'clock and then continued to ride all the way back down till about the European Open. The European Open finally is when, the movement kicked in. Again, nice run back down again from that 109 number. It ran about 140 pips, so hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of that one. We've now pushed through that level. So we've tested it here. Here's 1, here's 2, and that's assuming that you don't count any of these other hits. There's 3, 4 we expect to break, and 4 is now punched through. We are on our way up to the 50th percentile right now, and the 50 is up at 110.48. Now you can make it 110.50 if you really want. It's going to be right there. Right there, 110.50. I think that's really where we look next. And again, that makes sense. One more kind of push forward, and then we can get the dollar stepping back in again. It's only about 60 pips, so it's not that big of a range. If you want to run the fibs up for profit targets, I think this is a decent way to look at it right now. If this is the top, again, look for price to come all the way back down to 107.75. Again, that's where it's where the fib level is now. It wasn't there before. Whoops. Hold on one sec, guys. It wasn't before, so this was nothing. Now, if this is the top, now it's telling us that, hey, listen, that's a great target to take our profit in. So, yeah, that's kind of what we got. Like I said, obviously in an uptrend, looking for some type of a pullback level, but I think this is a decent right here. In the top to bottom, that 50% was a decent pullback and a nice push off of it. And again, with the way that it's rallying right now, we're looking for a reversal. All right, so again, 110.50 is where I'd look. Maybe a little bit shy of that just because of this. Probably get front run a little bit. And yeah, so hopefully you took advantage of that. Pound yen. So pound yen, we had that weird spike yesterday. We marked off the top. That top actually provided the base, right, and actually pulled it back down a little bit. And I do think that this was a 23. Yeah, it was kind of a 23. You can see that it really started the base right here with those buyers. And it's continuing to push higher. Now, some of this is a yen play. Again, we mentioned an old level, kept it in the yellow because it wasn't a big thing for us. We can just pull it. It didn't even slow down. It may actually pull back to it, but that's okay. We don't really need it right now. Let's see. Right now, I'd say right now, 160.11 is what we've been talking about. The fact that this is rallying straight up like this, love that. Remember, last time it was at 160. It spent almost no time there. So... yeah, so we're... wait, what do I have doing here? Wait, what's going on? I did it again. I hate when I do that. Hold on. Wait, hold on. What is it doing? I don't know why it's doing that. What are you doing? Why are you moving like that? All right. So, yeah, I think 160.11 is where we're looking to take this one short. I can continue it across. Last time we were there, it was a great little trade setup, and now we're within close proximity of it. So look for that one to turn and roll. I think that'll be decent. Dollar CAD is chopping. Dollar CAD is kind of the same thing that we saw with the dollar yesterday. We had some great levels in a couple different pairs that met all of our definitions. And you know what? It pushes just a little bit beyond. CAD did the same exact thing. This is the exact same thing that we saw in the Aussie right here that went just above our zone and then turned and flip. Guess what? This did the exact same thing. We had the zone. It actually hit the zone and popped up at 10:30 and made it about 2/3 of the way back. And then what did it do? It came in and put that low in and then gave us the red, green, red, the confirmation down here. So, I'm sorry, the green, red, green. So, it did do what you're looking for. It did take one bounce and came back again. And I don't know what it was. Whatever somebody said, push these things just a little bit beyond. But they all did the same thing and then ended up going right back up to the target that we talked about yesterday. So, right now, again, oil's not really helping too much. It is in the red today, so we are seeing some weakness. The data that we got out of the CAD today was positive. Right? Like, this was great for CAD, but the reality is this is really, really great for, oh, God. I'm anxious. What? I'm anxious to see the extent of global quantitative tightening effects on the conditions. The Fed looks for international development carefully to calibrate the United States. Clear about our policy objectives. Yeah, right. I'm partially interested in the inflation expectations such as tips and swaps. Yeah. I'm telling you, he knows what he's talking about. So right now, I would say if you are long, I think that's a decent trade. I think you look to come in here and take profit somewhere approximately around 138. Again, that would be where you take a sell with profit. At that level, again, I still think 138 is extremely high. I don't think the situation is bad, but I also didn't expect the unemployment rate or the unemployment to go basically be only 193,000. With the data we saw yesterday and the data we saw today, again, I think without a doubt, it's a 0.75. Question is it a 0.75? 0.75. Is it going to be two in a row? And I kind of feel like, I feel like they are trying to tell us that that's what they want to do, or that's what they're going to do. Obviously, we don't have an official response yet because, again, a lot of things can happen with that market. But I feel like that's what they're trying to tell us, that we're going to do we're going to basically from now to the end of the year, we're going up another 1.5%, which I think is just insane. Yeah, I mean, that poor housing market, right? I told you guys yesterday, I have a lot of friends that in the last like 6 months, a year went into real estate. One of them went as a mortgage broker. One of them is an agent, like selling houses. And the agent posted a meme yesterday. They're like, people that, were, mortgage lenders in 2008, at this hard face, and everybody within the last 5 years did this, and everybody within the last 6 months are doing this face. So you can tell that she's feeling the pain now. She's joking about it, but yeah, you can tell that she's feeling the pain being new to the industry. But dollar CAD, I think 138.03 is where we look to short this one. Again, look for a confirmation off of it. It's already hit there once, but seller stepped in. I think we are a little bit high, but I do think we continue to rise from here. And I think it's, another 100 pips higher. Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss is not, it had a decent move. So yesterday we were talking about really this 50 percentile mark was going to be decent, right? And if I bring this across, right, we talked about, 97.43. You can see we kind of came down here at 12 o'clock yesterday and hit it. And then we started the base. And then all of a sudden, when we got that green, red, green, there's kind of your confirmation. There's kind of your confirmation of a switch, right? Did it rally all the way back? No, but it probably wouldn't have. I mean, this level we said, not really big, right? We've had this, we had this, we had this, we had this. We're on 4 hits. It didn't even slow it down, and then it kind of used it, right? And then it started the base in there again. You can see it's still basing in there. But if I remove that one, you can see from yesterday's short, yesterday morning we talked about the short that was really, really early. It was kind of over the 95, the 99.50. You need to mark off this level of basing right here. Right? And guess what we ran into? This. So unfortunately, the trade is over. The 99.43 long, we've already hit it and kind of come back up. And again, hit the target in the middle. And this actually may have been a 50 as well, right? Yeah. Right? Actually, it's a little bit. Yeah, it tagged it. Again, that double confirmation, right? What is it? Would you have turned and flipped? Probably not. But because again, the same basing that it turned off of there, right where the 23 is, it's not. But that's the same thing. So, yeah, I would say right now, looking at this one, because of what we heard today, I actually wouldn't be surprised if this kind of pulls back down again, and then we come off this level one more time. And the reason you may say, well, why? Why would it do that? Well, Russia, annexing territory, again, that's a geopolitical event. The war is already going on, but anything that provides, instability on a political spectrum, it doesn't directly involve the U.S., but it does. Again, the Swiss would claim more towards neutrality. Now, the Swiss is not neutral in this, so it's not the same play that we normally get, because the Swiss is absolutely not neutral in this, but I would say look for this to kind of continue to deteriorate a little bit, and then look for another buy off the 97.43. But you can see that it came down and grabbed the level we mentioned, and again, it flipped exactly where we should have in the other direction. So it was a 3 o'clock in the morning flip. All right, dollar yen. So I said would not be surprised today if we're back up at 145. We got close. We got to 144.82. We didn't quite make it all the way. Didn't quite get there. We got close. I'd say right now, wouldn't be surprised if this turns and also rolls back down again. I don't know. Not really much of a trade in this one, though. You can see there's so much drama up here. I mean, again, there's so much basing up in this level. Use the actually, I guess we'll go back to here, but use where a lot of these bottoms are here, right? It was a top. These are the bottom wicks, top wicks, bottom, 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 top on this one. And if I extend it across, exactly what we run into. So this is the example of, hey, listen, psychological level, you got to get in first. So right now, let's say we do have our red, green, red. We'd look for this to turn and roll back down again. Probably a target down here at 144 is what you're looking for on it. I don't love it. I think there's some better opportunity out there. But right now, again, it's a decent runner if you guys are looking for a trade, about 50 pips to the downside. Okay, Bitcoin 2%, and again, there are some comments this morning. Again, with the dollar news today, we're absolutely raising the dollar. Again, that is bad for cryptos, but we're below 19,000 right now. You can see that we are below 1,300. And Ethereum looks very, very similar, and even Dogecoin. Again, we are below that $6. That's the magic number in that, and really, you could draw the same magic numbers for all of these. You can do 1,300 would be a big one. And then obviously for Bitcoin, same thing. At really 20,000 is the big one, but right now 19,000 has provided such an issue for us, right? Right there would be the 19,000 mark. So going across the commodities. So commodities, we did talk about a level, and it actually tagged the level yesterday at 11 and then popped back down again and then kind of used it to base off of. It didn't make it up to a 50. So again, I think the number was surprising enough yesterday for people that, again, the chop right before the news, we're basically in the same spot that we are. It's showing that it's down only from where it closed. I'm actually kind of curious. This is actually more of a down draw than I would have imagined today. You can see that one tagged it. Actually, you know what? That's probably going to be where we bounce. Let's leave that on. So we can get rid of this level. We don't need it. We didn't tag that, did we? I'm going to put this level up here. Let's see. Oops. Let's see. Let's mark this. $79.61. So right now, that is our target for oil. So our target right now in a short, and again, the short is kind of pulled back over again, going from the 83 through the 82.50. I think we come down, and again, there'll be a little bit of a hiccup right here, and that hiccup's going to come in right around 80.35. But I think we can come down and kind of peak our head below 80. 80 is going to be a big psychological number when people bracket things off. They're like, oh, is it going to, the poll was, will it end, between 80 and 100? So again, because we're in that kind of that area, I think 80 will be a big psychological level. So maybe raise it a little bit more, but I think this one continues to come down today. Natural gas deteriorating fast. Now, natural gas, if I extend this across, you can see we tagged it. If I extend the bottom across, you can see this is why we use fibs as a confirmation. Okay, had you been a 23.6, and again, everybody knows, fibs, you trade fibs, you get into the 23.6. It's a trend of continuation. Sorry, you didn't get in. Again, we were looking for what selling has looked like in the past. We had some sellers here as well. I believe this one is already out, though. It may be a little bit late now. Let's see. 1, 2, and 3 is right there. 3 point. There we go. Hold on. 3.1 right there. Typically, in a position like this, we would say that, hey, listen, there's where the pop is. That's where your profit target needs to be. So we've really just tagged a profit target just now. I would say, though, there is a level just below that we've had some confirmation in. We have had a few hits in it, though, so it's not 100% fresh. But if you're looking for a reversal of this, there could be something coming in. Now, there is all kinds of drama with the pipeline, right? Is there anymore? You can see that, where is it? They see powerful bombs behind the Nord Stream leaks, right? There's a lot of drama with natural gas right now. Again, natural gas, a lot of the jump yesterday may have been everything with the hurricane. Remember, we talked yesterday about how the hurricane didn't, the energy sector was not pricing in any type of disruptions. Obviously now it's kind of moving up. The hurricane is moving up through Florida. I didn't think that Ian was that strong yesterday. I guess it became the fifth largest, or tied for the fifth largest. Not size, I guess, strength of winds or whatever. So it did make it to a category 4. It almost made it to category 5, hit land, and then it dropped all the way back down to a 1. So it didn't have any sustaining power, to keep its strength up. But obviously Florida having all kinds of problems. So, with it kind of passing through the most, I guess, at-risk area, I'm not really surprised that this is turning and pushing back down again. It's kind of like, wait, let's see what's going to happen. And the overnight's like, all right, anything going to happen? No? No disruptions? Okay. It's doing what it's supposed to do. But I would say that there's probably some type of reversal coming back in around the 650. I'm hoping it gets back down to like $3. I think that would be great. Gold. So gold, we were looking for a reversal. It was about finding the right level. You can see the level we had drawn yesterday. It was a little bit beyond. We mentioned that, but again, 1, 2. I mean, if you took the formation, you had your 1, 2, 3 hits. Number 4, you can see that it chopped through it a little bit, but not really great. Eventually, we got the top in here, and we got the red, the green, the red. With it pushing back to the downside. At this point, again, we're running back into those same sellers. The data today justifies further rate increases, without a doubt. So with those further rate increases, I would say, yeah, you got to remain bearish. But watch out for this 60-40 level. This like 60-40 level right here. It tried. There was nothing in there for it to go through. So let's remove this just so we don't confuse people. Like, wait, what? What happened? It was a zone that was hit too many times. Actually, let's see. Was that? I don't think that was an issue. No, you can see it didn't even turn on the fib. It blew right through the 23, turned well beyond it. Actually, that's not a bad level. I like the way that form right there. Just fine. Profit needs to be taken there. Okay. Here's the question on this one. Do we Harry Potter this one or right there? Do we Harry Potter that one? That could be an interesting setup for tomorrow morning. Once we come down, if we start basing in here, having this one retrace back down again. I do think with the data that we saw yesterday, even if we come in with the confirmed 2.5 or whatever, I think this one has the ability to drop back down. I think we shoot for 1626.50 tomorrow. I think gold is short without a doubt. Silver looks very similar. Now you can see this one. It ended up blowing right through that 23 as well. Didn't even slow down. Again, it was a confirmed level. Actually, it's been a level for a while, but it didn't even slow down. And again, this one did come up and grab the 50 about 2:30 in the afternoon. And you can see that it did slice through. It actually needed that supply zone and has turned and rolled back down again. So this one is off. We're kind of in a racetrack right now, right? If you're going to box it off here, right? Let's say profit target on this one is here. 36. Right there. 1814. So 1814 would be our target by tomorrow morning, or for tomorrow morning. We should be able to roll this one all the way back down again. But yeah, so this is another one of those ones that nice little confirmation of the two, right? But unfortunately, the trade is out now. Not much else we can do with it. All right, you can see all these guys are pretty in the red. Look, extend this. It was a sell the other day, and look at it, came right back up when there was a sell again, and now today it's like wah wah wah. Wow, everybody's getting crushed. Yeah, it's an ugly day today. So let's see if any of these trades would have been decent setups at the open. All right. That was a little move from yesterday. All right, so 7:30. It did pull up. So the 9 o'clock one was here. We did drive up. Oof, that would have been close, but yeah, I think you made that one. 9:15, 9:30 opened here. Yeah, I think you would have been okay on this one. Again, so this one is hard. So if you box this one off like this, it's kind of like, it's kind of hard. There's the base because you can see it keeps coming in that level, and then here's what the confirmation really came out, and that's what triggers this one. So I don't know if this one's out or not. It may be. Yeah, it is. There you go. So there's your one. Again, at 9:30 pulling back into a downtrend. It's good with that one. And again, so All right, so let me explain this one real quick. So the fact that this red candle here at 8:30 went below this level, wasn't concerned about it as much. This was a bit choppy back and forth, so this would have been really kind of where we were looking for a profit target for. So the fact that it pulled up, we were looking for kind of a basing entry. The reason why I kind of drew it the way I drew it is because if you get like super conservative, you can see there's a pullback there, and there was obviously buyers. But if you box off this entire kind of pullback, you can see that it based here. Look, it touched, it based again, it touched it again, just barely, and that's the launch point. That's what gave us kind of the true level base. Because remember, you can be a little bit more liberal when you're going with the trend. And were we going with the trend? Yes, it was a downtrend. You can see lower highs, lower lows. It was breaking even lower. We were looking for a pullback. You can kind of be a little bit more liberal in your entry. So there's 1 for 1, and both were out. 9:15, 9:30. This one didn't give us the same level of pullback. These are a bunch of levels. We don't need that anymore. Say that this one would have been boxed here. You wouldn't have made this one. Same setup, but this one unfortunately did not trigger. But see how it was the bottom here, tops all here, bottom here, tops here, tops here. It didn't come up as much, so it kind of missed it. If you did get shorted though, because again, you liked where it was at, obviously NQ is the most negative. It's pushing back down in the level. So again, nice negative. I would say at this point, the way that it's deteriorating right now, I would say look for 1100 as being a target today. So yeah, I think that's the only place we can go to. So unfortunately, not an entry for what we're looking for. It happens, but not the entry we're looking for. It sucks because that was a big run down, and it's the weakest. So, YM. Let's see if YM had it. YM do the same thing. We're going to bracket the same area, right there. And again, that's going to cover the bases there. Top, bottom. Again, this one sliced through so you can see it triggered. So this was a good entry. And there you go. So 2 for 3 for entries, 2 for 2 on profit targets. Okay. All right. The Russell. Did the Russell hit? I feel like the Russell's going to look just like looking at this briefly. If there's your level and there's your base, yeah, it's a miss. It is a miss. Love it. Tell you, look at that. It's awesome, but nope, it's not. I mean, it's awesome, but again, it looks exactly the same. You missed it by a little bit, wrote it all the way back down again, kind of went right down where a profit target should be. So yeah, so it looks like 2 for 4 as far as entries go today. The 2 that did trigger were at 100% profit targets. Had you gotten into the other 2 that didn't quite meet all the rules, if you use something like Nadex or just traditional options to get short those positions, they did work. And again, they're both even more negative. That's the crazy part. The two that didn't trigger are the most negative, down 3.15 and 3.2%. So it's like, oh, look at that. Both of them were just very minor misses, and the 2 stronger ones did come up and triggered and went to profit, and triggered and came up to profit. Oops, this one's a little bit off, but you can see it's not drawn correctly. It's there. And the 1 to 3 is there. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. So we're still good. So 2 for 4 in entries, 2 for 2 on full things. Full profit targets. Yeah, God, they're getting blown up pretty well. Let's see if we got any more news. I was waiting for more news over here. But again, there should be no surprises on any of these right now. With all the data today, I mean, the data was absolutely phenomenal. Again, he's saying that, I'm anxious to see what it looks like. We definitely, again, he is considered red, but, it's not marked up here, but his speech is obviously considered red, where Bernard is not. Everything he said is, we're going to keep raising it, we're going to keep raising it, we're going to keep raising it. And again, that's not considered pro-business. So there should be absolutely zero surprises that we are in the red. Now, with a big push down today, though, with a monstrous push down today, I'm kind of looking at this and saying, hey, listen, maybe this 0.5 is a little bit too aggressive. If we come in at a 0.4 or 0.3, that gives us at least a little bit of a reprieve. And it doesn't mean they're not going to raise interest rates, but it's not the foot pedal jammed all the way to the ground. I would say there could be potentially a reversal tomorrow, just because today is so negative, right? And again, I'll go on record saying I think there could be a long trade as long as this doesn't come in as a 0.6 or 0.7. but 0.5 should be baked in. If it comes in as a 0.3 or 0.4, 2, or 0.3, 0.4, anywhere from below 0.5, that will be positive of the market. End of the week rally. Again, not great because we're going to be getting the hurricane this weekend, but New York should be insulated for at least a little bit longer. So, yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. Again, this was great. You love seeing that 4.99 there, and it's kind of pulled back down a little bit. They all have, but seeing euro pound at 108, nice reversal in the pound. Again, the bullish BOE kind of activity has finally started kicking in. So again, definitely jacking around traders. All right, so a little bit early today, but markets are a little bit weird. So we'll go ahead and do the drawing today. Neuro won yesterday. Neuro was like, "Yep, I win. Okay, I'm going to go in big." Going in big. Okay, sorry. I was just looking at that. We'll close this one down. And let's see. Winner of today's drawing is... Ooh, look at that. Look at Mr. Sneaky coming in with half the woof. Look at that. Coming in with half. Ernest is on a roll these days. He's okay. I mean, I would say if anybody's hot right now, I would say Debbie. I mean, Debbie took 2 ones with big numbers, and Debbie didn't have big numbers in there. And then, I mean, Sean has been kind of killing it lately too with just a single. So I don't know. I feel like Neuro was kind of retrading back again, right? It was Ernest, right? Yeah. Let's go ahead and leaderboard. Let's give Ernest his. So, yeah, I mean, Ernest was the big spender for a while, and I think he figured out that the big spending did not make much of a difference. I mean, it does. Obviously, the odds are in your favor, but say every dog has their day, right? So, anyway, what to watch out for today? Just in summary, again, look for some more comments. This is going to be a big thing. I wouldn't be surprised right now if the speech writers are out there writing a speech. Yeah. I'm sure there's more coming. Bullard obviously is still making comments, and again, we have Messer coming in as well at 1 p.m. today. Again, I think this adds into the very hawkish tones on the dollar. So I think, I don't see much great today for the indices if you're looking to trade them, but as horrible as they are today, it should price it all in. And again, if we can come up with a little bit of a disappointment tomorrow morning, look for potential green indices tomorrow. And again, But if that number's not good, just get out of the market. Sell and get out. With the hurricane coming in on the East Coast, it's easier for traders to get out and be like, yep, we're done. Don't worry about it, even though it's not going to hit till this weekend. So, all right, that said, weird morning. Again, between the BOE doing weird stuff, and again, the market's kind of reacting a little bit crazy and finally kicking in a day late, and then Russia annexing things. Markets are a bit all over the place right now. So, again, not that there hasn't been great trade opportunities, but I think there'll be a little bit more. I think there'll be better ones tomorrow. This is a big one for the Fed. And again, this thing comes in at 0.4. That would be a great sign. Comes in at 0.7. Markets are going to get slaughtered tomorrow. So, all right, with that said, I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care.